The Singapore government has cut the supply of private residential units for the second half of this year under its land sales program. The National Development Ministry says demand continues to fall after cooling measures were introduced. While there are fewer units, it says that the supply will meet Singapore's housing needs. That's because there are enough units in the pipeline. Elizabeth Nyo tells us more.
13 sites were released for the second half of this year. 5 are on the confirmed list and 8 on the reserve list. The 5 confirmed private residential sites are located at Bartley Road, Irwell Bank Road and 2 at Canberra Drive. There is also an executive condominium site at Fernvale Lane. Together, these sites can yield about 1,715 private units. That's nearly 300 fewer than the units released earlier this year. There's a smaller supply this time because nearly 44,000 private homes are in the pipeline, a majority of which remains unsold. That's not including the 24,000 private homes that are currently vacant. There are also other factors why the government reduced supply.
Cooling measure introduced in 2018 has actually achieved its objective of cooling down the market. Without the cooling measures introduced in 2018, I think prices will actually increase at a very rapid pace. I think the price continue to move in a moderate pace rather than what we've seen in early 2018.
M&D also cited a decline in the transaction volume for the third straight quarter in Q1 this year. Furthermore, developers have also moderated their demand for land. Property analysts say buyers may not feel the effects too severely. Instead, developers and the construction sector are the ones under pressure.
Most of these units had to be sold within 5 years. The ABSD otherwise will have to come in, so the developer will have to pay additional 25% of ABSD, which is a hefty, very heavy cost to many of these. So developer probably will be under immense, tremendous pressure trying to sell. The cut down in the supply of private residential may have some impact on the construction's activities, but I think it probably can be compensated by other kind of project, infrastructure project. We look at MRT, new MRT lines and other kind of construction work.
On the GLS reserve list is the 9.2 hectare site at Kampong Bugis. The reserve list also includes 2 mixed-use development sites, 4 private residential sites and another location for a hotel at River Valley Road.
It's up to the developers to trigger it or not. But if I were a developer and I think that if my balance sheet is not overstretched, I'm not bogged down by unsold units or with inventory from launches last year or the year before, I would dare to take a risk to trigger it because I'll play a little bit of games, the game theory that my competitors are bogged down, distracted by their inventory.
M&D says it will monitor the property market and adjust the supply from future land sales accordingly.